Hi guys, it's Houston Immigration Attorney Pegah Ragazar. Welcome back for another episode of Wednesday Wisdom with Pegah. A little bit about the Ragazar Law Firm. Our principal office is located in Houston, Texas, but we do take cases from all across the U.S. and outside the U.S., advising on U.S. immigration laws. Our office phone number is 832-792-3636. And you can learn about this topic and more about other topics, as well as about me, on our website at www.ragazarlaw.com. Today's topic is about J-1 visas for exchange visitors. But before I dive in, as usual, I'd like to inform you that any information discussed in today's video is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as legal advice. Every case is different, and immigration is a fact-intensive area of the law. So be sure to seek proper legal advice from an experienced immigration attorney before filing any sort of application with immigration. Some recent updates in the immigration world. On April 10, 2019, just a few days ago, USCIS completed its H-1B lottery draw. So if you applied for an H-1B, you should be receiving notices in the next few weeks of whether your case was selected or not. If it was not selected, then you will receive your entire packet along with your filing fees returned to you. As many of you may have heard, President Trump recently designated Iran's military, which is the Revolutionary Guard, as a terrorist organization. This is going to gravely impact immigrants from Iran if they are deemed to have any sort of connection to or have provided material support to this organization. And this is an unfortunate turn of events yet again for Iranians who are already affected by continuous sanctions as well as the travel ban. The Revolutionary Guard touches all parts of life in Iran. They own more than 50% of businesses and activities going on in Iran. So this is going to definitely affect a lot of immigrants from Iran for visas, green cards, or even citizenship. On a more positive note, for those affected by the travel ban and family separation, in the last few days, Democrats in Congress have introduced legislation seeking to repeal the travel ban. So if you oppose the travel ban, now's the time to call your congressman or woman and let them know that you strongly demand that they support the No Ban Act to repeal the travel ban. Last but not least, another yet devastating blow to the immigration world comes from a new decision by our new Attorney General, William Barr. In this new ruling, asylum seekers who pass their credible fear interviews and are then sent to full deportation proceedings will not be eligible for bond requests from an immigration judge, and they'll instead have to seek it from Homeland Security. But likely, many of these asylum seekers will have to remain in ICE detention facilities while their immigration court cases are ongoing. That's the latest news in the immigration world. Now moving on to today's topic on J-1 visas for exchange visitors. The primary goal of the exchange visitor program is to allow participants the opportunity to engage broadly in American culture, engage with Americans, strengthen their English language abilities, and to learn new skills or build skills that will help them in future careers. All exchange visitors, of course, are expected to return to their home country upon completion of their program so that they're able to share this exchange of experiences. What is a J-1 visa? Well, J-1 visas are non-immigrant exchange visitor visas which allow for approved individuals to participate in work and study exchange programs. The programs that you can apply for under the J-1 are one of 15 designated programs, which include one of the following: au pair or nannies, counselor, college and university students, government visitors, interns, international visitors, physicians, professors, research scholars, secondary school students, short-term scholars, specialists, summer work travel, teachers, and trainees. If you can also find a list of these designated program sponsors by visiting the Department of State website, their exchange visitor program, which is available at j1visa.state.gov. So what happens after you find a designated program sponsor? Once you apply for and secure your sponsor, then you can file the form DS-2019, which is a certificate of eligibility for exchange visitor that you file with the Office of Immigration Services, or OIS. And this form is generated and completed by your sponsoring organization. Once your DS-2019 is accepted by OIS, you have two options depending on whether you're in the US on another status or you're outside the US. If you're in the US on another status and you've maintained your status, then you'll receive a change of status to a J1 once you submit the DS-2019. If you're outside the US, however, you must go through consular processing and apply for the J1 visa at the US consulate by completing the DS-160 non-immigrant visa and attending a scheduled interview for your visa. You may also apply for a J2 visa for your spouse and children under 21 years of age to accompany you into the US. If you're applying at the US consulate, you may also need to prepare documents to show your residence and tie to your home country and that you don't intend to abandon it. And you may need to prove that you have the necessary funds to support yourself and your family during your stay in the US. You may also need to provide supplemental information about your travel plans to the US. If you have any questions about whether you qualify for a J1 visa or how to file for a J1 visa, then please contact our office at 832-792-3636, make an appointment, and we can discuss your case. So what's the general processing time for a J1 visa? Well, it could take anywhere from a couple of weeks to get a DS-2019 from your sponsor, and then it takes another few weeks to get the interview appointment at your US consulate in your home country. And assuming the interview goes well, it could take another few weeks to have them place the visa in your passport. Overall, the wait time can vary anywhere from 5 weeks to 2 to 3 months on average. But of course, this will vary depending on your country, your personal circumstances, or the consulate's backlog for interviews. What happens when you get your J1 visa? When can you enter and how long can you stay? Well, once you obtain your visa, you're allowed to enter the US within 30 days of your program start date, but you can't enter no more than 30 days. Your J1 visa validity period also will depend on the program that you're being sponsored under. And that period can range anywhere from 4 to 6 months to 1 year or more. Under certain circumstances, you may be eligible to request an extension of your J1 visa. The J1 visa also may not be subject to the 2-year home country foreign residency requirement. And what exactly is the 2-year home country foreign residency requirement? Well, in many cases, the exchange visitor will have to return to their home country at the end of their program. And before they're allowed to change to another status or another visa type or to obtain a green card. Your DS-2019 or your J1 visa will indicate if you're subject to the 2-year residence requirement or if you're not. You will be subject to the 2-year home country foreign residency requirement if your exchange program is funded either by your government or the US government, if it involves specialized knowledge or skills deemed necessary by your home country, or if you received graduate medical training. If this requirement applies, then you may return to your home country for a cumulative 2 years to fulfill this requirement before, once your program ends, before you're eligible for any sort of other visas. You're not prohibited from traveling to the US, but again, you can't benefit from certain employment-based or family-based visas or green cards in or outside the US until this foreign residency requirement is fulfilled. Is there any way around the 2-year home residence requirement? If you don't want to fulfill the 2-year home residence requirement by going back to your home country, you may have the option to apply for a waiver. You can file as many of the waivers as you qualify for, and there are 5 bases for obtaining a waiver. So if you qualify for it, you can apply for more than just one. The first category is obtaining a no objection statement from your home country government through their embassy in Washington, D.C. The second is a request by an interested U.S. federal government agency who you are working on a project for or are of interest to. The third way is persecution. If you believe you'll be persecuted based on your race, religion, or political opinion if you return to your home country. The fourth is exceptional hardship to a U.S. citizen or permanent resident spouse or child. And the last but not least, the fifth waiver basis is request a designated state public health department or its equivalent And this waiver is really an option for foreign medical graduates who obtain their exchange visitor status to pursue graduate medical training or education in the U.S. If you have any questions about whether you are subject to the 2-year home residence requirement, or if you qualify for any of these waivers for the 2-year home residence requirement, then please contact our office at 832-792-3636. Make an appointment and we can discuss your case. Some things to be mindful regarding the J-1 visa. If you complete your J-1 exchange program, you're allowed a 30-day grace period to timely depart at the end of your program. However, you're not allowed to work during that 30-day grace period. The second thing to consider is if your sponsor terminates your program, you're expected to depart the U.S. immediately. In that situation, there is no 30-day grace period. And last but not least, you're only allowed to work by performing the activities listed on your DS-2019 for your program. Anything outside of that would violate the terms of your visa. If you guys have any questions related to this topic or any other topic, then please contact our office at 832-792-3636. Make an appointment and we can discuss your case. So we have one question here, Ms. Nasir Hakim. What's the process for damaged green card? I'm assuming you need to replace your green card. You would file the form I-90 to replace your green card. That concludes another episode of Wednesday Wisdom with Pega. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next week for another episode of Wednesday Wisdom. Have a good night.